It's a great day, and I'm delighted to welcome Robert Bayigamba, the president of the Rwandan Private Sector Federation, to our campus. Robert. And I want to thank all of you for being part of this very special event. The signing of this agreement this afternoon represents a very important milestone. Over the past 2 years, Babson's had 3 projects in Rwanda. One focused on setting up an institution for English language learners, and Yanni Doros, who was involved in that project, is here. Where's Yanni? One on the feasibility of an alternative women's health institute, and the third on setting up this center that we're signing for this afternoon. 16 Babson students have been involved in these 3 projects, and 2 of them, Ben Cox and Chris Smith. Show your faces. Are the first Babson graduates to staff the Babson-Rwanda Entrepreneurship Center. Ben just graduated from the undergraduate program, and Chris just finished the MS in Entrepreneurship, in the Global Entrepreneurship Program. The center is a great example of our strategy in action, educating a generation of entrepreneurial leaders like Ben and Chris to create economic and social value everywhere. In fact, I can't think of a better initiative that illustrates the mission of this college. Just think about what we're celebrating here today. 2 recent graduates of the college are serving as volunteers and are working with entrepreneurs in a country that has built its entire recovery from genocide on the basis of entrepreneurship. There are few countries on the face of the planet that are as ready and as eager as Rwanda for the latest tools and methods to train entrepreneurs. Whether it's been the dramatic increase in the ease of doing business ranking by the World Bank in 1 year, Rwanda made a spectacular leap from 143rd on the list to 67th. And also, in terms of ease of opening new businesses, Rwanda now ranks 11th in the world. As a result, over the last, now 1995 to 2010, so 15 years, per capita GDP has quadrupled. This is the kind of change that entrepreneurship can contribute to bringing to a country. And the entrepreneurial potential for Rwanda going forward is enormous. We at Babson and our students can't be more proud to play a role in Rwanda's continuing transformation and future as a dynamic economy. One other person played a critical role in the process of getting us to this opportunity this afternoon, and that's Dennis Hanno, the driving force behind the center and the person who should get a lot of credit this afternoon. So Dennis?
So I just want to tell 2 quick little stories about how something like this can happen almost in like 0 to 60, it seems, in 5 seconds. It's one, the power of networks, and then the power of just entrepreneurial thought and action. The whole way I got involved in Rwanda is one day Candy Brush called me and said, you do a lot of work in Ghana. You must know all about Rwanda then. And if you look at your map, you'll see that's kind of like saying I know a lot about, I don't know, Venezuela, I suppose. So, and I said to Candy, well, I don't, but I'm willing to try to learn something. And so a friend of a friend of a friend of hers came to talk to me about the English Language Institute. And then the minute Chris and the other group went with me to talk about that, the networks just opened in Rwanda. People that we met were so open, and they knew of Babson, they knew of the reputation of this institution, and they knew that we could get good things done. So on the second trip over with Ben, it was the last day we were there that I met with Robert, and almost within, I would say, I knew that within 2 minutes we had hit on something that was going to work, because the PSF is just an incredible organization that drives entrepreneurial action within the whole country. And his problem was he doesn't have the capacity within his limited staff to be able to really make the change that he has as a vision and the other leaders of the PSF do. So I said, hey, I've got the staff. It's called 1,900 undergrads and 1,500 graduate students just chomping at the bit to contribute to something like this. So we left that meeting in March and immediately decided that this was something that we were going to move forward on. There was only one obstacle, and that was developing a plan that would work and coming up with a funding mechanism for it. So the students who were working on this project did a presentation in the beginning of May of this year, and there were a group of individuals present at that presentation where at the end of the presentation they said, "This is an incredible idea, why don't you do it?" And the only question was, so how much is it going to take? And as a minimum, we said, well, we need $100,000 just to get it started. Within 30 seconds, they had the pledges of $100,000 in the room. So this is entirely funded by outside money, entirely because the students took the initiative to put together a plan that the people that were in the room were blown away. So I would like to thank the students over the years that have worked on this project. I'd like to thank those who have come forward, and unfortunately, from a personal standpoint, most of them couldn't be here. I'll tell you that Len Schlesinger personally has contributed to this. So I thank President Schlesinger. So it's an exciting opportunity, and I think the next step is really finding out where this will lead in the future, because what Robert and I have talked about consistently is we get 2 people on the ground now. Our hope is that in 6 months, a lot of other people look at this and say, wow, look what's happened. How about 4 people? How about 6 people? So to put it a little bit into perspective, I'd like to ask Robert to come up and share a little bit about his views and where this might lead. So, Robert?
President Lane Schlesinger, Dennis Hanno, invited guests. I'm humbled, proud, and privileged to be here this afternoon. It's a signal, it's a testimony of passion, commitment, partnerships, and vision. Rwanda Aftermath wants to tell the world that never again, that we are able, yes, we did bad thing to the humankind, but we can turn around, make special things for our people, for our region, for our continent, and for the world. That's why there is a consistent commitment to change. And we know that we cannot do that without partnership. So thank you, Babson College. Thank you for your commitment to open your door, your knowledge to Africa, to other parts of the world, as I've heard and I've read, and for opening your heart, your mind for Rwanda. And I can commit here on behalf of the leadership of the private sector that this project, this program will be a landmark and will be a success story for not only Rwanda, but for our continent. We are committed to make the change, to develop a strong middle class with a small and medium enterprises, vibrant and really good to create jobs, to create value addition, to pay tax, because we want to pay tax. I'm here standing as a businessman, but I want to pay tax to have good schools, to have good roads, to have good health centers, because we have to be responsible people, responsible professionals, responsible businessmen. So I'll be short, just to say thank you once again. And for me, it's a wonderful event, which certainly will open new doors, new venues for people who wants to help, who wants to give back to the society, and also for people who wants to learn, who wants to acquire knowledge to make the difference. Thank you very much.
So before we sign, because I know everyone will scatter afterwards, I'd like to just call up the two young men who are going to be taking this banner with them on Thursday morning, because it's important that you get to know them, because I've seen the apartments they're going to be living in. There is ample room for all of us to visit. It's a great, the PSF has done a great job of working with us to develop an office facility and a living facility for these guys. And I've already warned them that I'll be there 2 or 3 times a year. I'm sure they'd love to see all of you there as well. So Ben and Chris, if you want to just say a few words.
Wow. I really need to thank Dean Hanno, President Schlesinger, Mr. Bayigamba for this amazing opportunity they've granted us. It's a dream come true, honestly. And Chris and I are both humbled and honored to be representing Babson overseas and doing such important work. We look forward to updating you on our successes in the days, months, years to come. I just encourage all of you to reach out, stay in touch, and let us know how we can share our story back here at Babson.
Yeah. Well said, Ben. Again, thanks to Dennis Hanno, President Schlesinger, and Mr. Bayigamba for making this opportunity possible. I think this has been something that's kind of been in the works for a very, very long time, where I think that Babson's been leading to, and also, I'd say, our personal lives. And I'm really honored to be able to travel to Rwanda and represent Babson and hopefully make a difference there. So thank you again for giving us the opportunity, and we look forward to keeping in touch with everyone.
So now I think it's time to do the deed. If I could ask Robert and Len to come up. And I think it would be appropriate that Chris and Ben look on, because this seals your fate for the next 2 years. So.
Same thing on the second. As you know, we're a low-budget, tuition-dependent institution. If this was a White House ceremony, we'd have 10,000 pens. But we have 2. Net asset value, 19 cents. But each of you get one.